first, and then we got Barack Obama, and that just scared the snot out of everybody. And so that's what's happened. And are we going to stay engaged if we take it all back this fall? I hope so. We have to be, I think we have to be vigilant and diligent the rest of our lives over these issues, because we owe it to those behind us. But the reality is, they can take it, as you've seen, they can take it from us so fast. Each of us, our lives are already changing. And January 1 is going to, for those of us who draw a paycheck, it's going to change a whole lot more with Obamacare. We're going to start paying for something that we don't receive yet.
Never.
Well, the many of us will probably never receive, and that's just another transfer of wealth. So thank you for being here. Stay engaged. We support you. It's great to have more audiences to come in that you're connected to on a conservative basis, because right now I'm already in debates with folks that just don't, that have an agenda, and that agenda is to separate you from your money. And oh, I had one guy. I'll finish with this. This person told me on Saturday. Now I'm in with the middle of a large group of liberals, because the 3 Democrats were there. Brenda wasn't there. Barry Wong was there. But this guy, as I was about to leave, he talked about how much rates need to go up so they can do all these neat things. Rates really need to go up, and they're so excited by it and believe it's going to happen under Barack Obama, and if they can get Democrats at the Corporation Commission. Why do they think they can do it at the Corporation Commission? Why does the Obama administration want to spend money to get Democrats elected to the Arizona Corporation Commission? Because we're constitutionally created. We're kind of like the 4th branch of government. We don't need the governor. We don't need the legislature to do stuff. We have mostly budget unto ourselves because it's paid by user fees. It's what they think they can do and call it exclusive rate making and get away with, because the courts are afraid to manage us, because they really don't know what we do. The courts are interesting. They really don't know how to manage us under the Constitution. And so they look at the Corporation Commission as a playground for them to do any kind of liberal policy they can come up with and classify it under exclusive rate making. So there's the danger. They're unconstitutional as heck, and they'll push their agenda. So we have, at the end of the day, we've got to elect 2 Republicans to hold firm on that. So again, one last thing.
You can stop your sentence if the courts don't know, period.
Well, they were appointed by Napolitano, so they share a lot of the same agenda that she would have had that Obama has.
Well, shouldn't somebody notify the state legislature to inform the courts on how to handle you guys? I mean, in other words, if that's a problem, like you say, in the future, it could turn into a real problem. Why don't we head that one off at the pass before it does happen, and make sure that the court is informed so that we do follow the Constitution?
Well, that's just it. You can have lawsuits. People are reluctant. The Goldwater Institute sued us, but they've lost along the way. You know, they keep appealing, but they keep losing along the way. The best thing to do is elect conservatives and make sure that word is out and fight that battle at the polls. And we're going to get a chance in 2 years to correct the wrong, because all these folks who were elected 2 years ago will be up in 2 years. So, I mean, when I look at it, I think, man, we need to elect 2. But if I'm in there with the wrong set of circumstances, well, in 2 years we can change this. But like I said, a lot of mischief can happen in 2 years. So stay vigilant, do your part, and really it's going to come up now, pretty quick. You're going to have boots on the ground. Start going door to door, talk to your neighbors, make sure they know that this race is important. Well, you know, I heard an independent expenditure of John Kyle pushing Brenda and I on the radio down in Phoenix today. It started. It must be real important to certain groups, business groups especially. I think the ones that are putting money into that, about what's going on, because their rates, by the way, business groups, their rates, you think the individual rates are high. They really do this balancing on individual, on commercial and industrial. Those folks, the surcharge on the renewable energy up in Kingman is proposed to be $4,500 a month on the highest using industrial users. I mean, that's 2 employees in a place like Kingman. That'd choke a horse, huh? Oh, look, I've taken too much time. Let me hand this off.
I got one more question.
Oh, Yeah, go ahead, go ahead. My wife's going like this.
Can you explain?
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Can you explain to us where in some of the processes that the Corporation Commission oversees that the public can interject their opinions and?
Oh. When it comes to utilities especially, that's where we have public hearings. We've been up here a number of times where the public can come. So much of the time though, you know how you have a public meeting, it's, for instance, if you have one on transit, you know, for instance, light rail or buses, that sort of thing, you're going to have a town hall meeting on it. Guess who shows up? The advocates. That's who shows up. And so then the city marks down all this, and who answers the questionnaires when they mail it out? The advocates. And so you wonder, well, I wouldn't have spent all that money. Well, did you count somebody else to go and somebody else to answer the questionnaire they had? You've got to engage in those things because bureaucrats are making decisions off of that. And in my view, so many of the times, it does not reflect the attitude of the citizens of the community. And that's something you got to fight for. What Sherry was trying to tell me is we have campaign signs for Brenda and I back there, and we have enough for everybody just about, each household. So we'd love to have you take those, put them in your yards, because your neighbors by now are figuring out that you're someone involved, they respect your opinions, and we'd like you to be able to help us with that. So please do that. Again, thank you so much. What a pleasure to be here in Flagstaff.